to show you how to take factoring by grouping just a little bit further. So in the last tutorial you saw how to factor something like this: x squared times the quantity x minus 7 plus 3 times the quantity x minus 7. So we have two different monomials being multiplied by the same binomial, the x minus 7. And we learned that you could actually write this as x squared plus 3, the quantity, times the quantity x minus 7. And this is simply because of how FOIL works. With FOIL, you know you're going to eventually multiply the x squared times the x and by the negative 7, which is what we would have done up here in the original problem, and the 3 times the x and the negative 7, which is what we would have done in this original problem. So we're going to apply that to a new problem like this, and this problem actually has 4 terms. So we're going to factor a 4-term polynomial, and our goal is to get it to look like what we have up here in the green so that we can get a factored product out of the end. So when we look at this problem, we want to divide this set of terms into two groups of 2 terms. So we look for the terms that have something in common. So the x cubed and the 2x squared have an x squared monomial term in common, and the 8x and the 16 have an 8 in common. So if we kind of look at these separately, so if I look at the x cubed plus 2x squared, I know that I could factor out an x squared term, and inside we would have an x plus 2. Over on the other side, I know from the positive 8x plus 16 that I could factor out an 8 and get x plus 2. Now this was a positive 8, so that means this is still a plus sign in the middle. And now this problem looks like what we've been dealing with already. So we know we could rewrite this as x squared plus 8 times the quantity x plus 2. So we have factored a 4-term polynomial into x squared plus 8 times x plus 2. So just like we did in the first tutorial. So let's try it one more time. If we have 2x cubed plus 6x squared plus 10x plus 30, one of the first things you need to ask yourself is, can I make this a little bit easier? And one way to do that is by factoring out a greatest common monomial factor. So I can see just from glancing at this that each one of these terms has a 2 in common. So I'm actually going to factor out that 2 first. So we can deal with x cubed plus 3x squared plus 5x plus 15. So now we're going to work with this problem. And again, we want to group this in a way that 2 terms have a common binomial factor. So if we split this down the middle, it's going to work in this case. We still need to keep the 2 out front, but then let's deal with, I'm just going to put some brackets here so we don't get confused. But out of these 2 terms, I can factor out an x squared, and I'm left with the quantity x plus 3. Out of these terms, I can factor out a positive 5, and I'm left with the quantity x plus 3. So that's inside of these brackets. That means we have a 2 sitting way out in the front times the quantity x squared plus 5 from this part and this part times the quantity x plus 3. Then this is completely factored. I cannot factor it any further than where we are right now. So we took a 4-term polynomial and we were able to factor it.